In 2006, Ford had a record loss of $12.4 billion, prompted by several years of unappealing lineups of vehicles, production inefficiencies, and questionable decisions at the higher managerial level, as a result of an unhealthy culture characterized by disagreements and disconnection at the executive level. At that time, Bill Ford, great-grandson of Henry Ford, was the active president, chairman, CEO, and COO of the company, and one of the shareholders. So as chairman of the board, the decision was made: the company needed a major restructuring. Starting at the top, Bill Ford stepped down as CEO and brought Allan Mullaly to replace him. At that moment, Mullaly was the active CEO of Boeing, making a name for himself, starting as an engineer and working his way up to CEO of the company, where he developed his leadership philosophy. Following his motto, "Working together," Mullaly helped Boeing become the leading aircraft company in the US. Mullaly was brought to Ford not only to return the company to profitability, but also to change the culture of the company. True to his philosophy, he created the One Ford strategy to consolidate and unify the company under one vision, especially at the leadership level, generating a one-team philosophy that drove their commitment to the company. But putting his aggressive culture-changing strategy into action wasn't cheap, especially with the restructuring of the company. So with the approval of the board, and mainly Bill Ford as chairman, Mullaly mortgaged a significant portion of the assets of the company, including the famous blue oval logo, as a collateral, in order to borrow more than $23 billion, sinking them further into debt. However, by applying Mullaly's vision and strategy, the company immediately started to operate in a more efficient and profitable way, by getting rid of brands that were complementary to the core Ford brand, reducing the lineup of vehicles produced, and improving the overall quality and efficiency of their products and production process. Ford seemed well on its way to return to profitability. But then, 2008 happened. In September of 2008, the stock market crash happened. Caused by the banking crisis and the bursting of the housing bubble, it was the most serious financial crisis since the Great Depression, with its repercussions felt around the world and through several years. In 2009, the automotive industry reached its breaking point. Derived from the crisis, GM and Chrysler were on the verge of bankruptcy, eventually having to use the federal bailout to survive. But Ford was in a stronger position, due to the ongoing internal changes, as a result of following the vision and strategy of Mullaly, and the restructuring of the company. They didn't need the help and ended up rejecting the federal bailout.
Let me share with you what we have done to change from how it used to be doing business to how we do business now. Now we have a laser focus on our most important brand, the Ford Blue Oval. Now we are aggressively matching production to meet the true customer demand. Now we are shifting to a balanced product portfolio with even more focus on small cars and the advanced technologies that will drive higher fuel economy in all of our vehicles. Now we have a groundbreaking agreement with the UAW to reduce our labor costs, and we appreciate the UAW's continuing willingness to help close the competitive gap. Now we are putting in place the right structure to maximize the efficiency and the profitability of all of our partners. Now we are leveraging our global assets, innovation, technology, and scale to deliver world-class products for every market. It used to be that our goal was simply to compete. Now we are absolutely committed to exceeding our customers' expectations for quality, fuel efficiency, safety, and affordability. This is the Ford story. We are more balanced, we are more efficient, we are more global, and we are really focused. In short, we are on the right plan to becoming a profitable, growing company. We have moved our business model in a completely new direction, in line with the most successful companies and competitors around the world. Unfortunately, we all are facing a severe economic downturn that has slowed our momentum. Despite this downturn, Ford does not anticipate a near-term liquidity crisis. In fact, we expect our automobile business to be profitable in 2011. The entire Ford team, from our employees to shareholders, suppliers to dealers, is absolutely committed to implementing our new business model and becoming a lean, profitable company that builds the best cars and trucks on the road for our customers. There is a lot more work to do, but we are passionate about the future.
Even with sales dropping by 50%, Ford continued its steady pace towards profitability, eventually cementing itself as the second biggest car manufacturer in the US. But independent of Mullaly's successful strategy and implementation that transformed the company since his arrival and through the 2010s, the crucial decision was made at the right time by the then CEO and chairman, Bill Ford. By being well-informed and conscious of the position of the company, and in control of his ego, Bill Ford took an entrepreneurial risk, and true to his notion in corporate governance and accountability, in September 2006, he stepped down as CEO, in order to bring in a newcomer in the industry, but a seasoned CEO, who eventually would lead the company out of the turmoil of the later part of the decade, and eventually into success.
A couple things happened. One is I went to my board, and at the time I was chairman, I was CEO, I was president, and I was COO. And I went to my board and I said, look, tough times are coming, I need help. And they said, well, what do you need? Do you need a CEO or do you need a COO? I said, I don't care, I've got to get the right person. But we also had to borrow a lot of money because restructuring is expensive, as you know. And so we had a massive restructuring ahead of us. We hired Allan Mullaly, who turned out to be a terrific CEO. We borrowed all this money, and then we went to work. And thankfully, it did work. Now, I was very proud of the family, how they hung together. You can imagine the family meeting where I said, guess what? I just borrowed $23 billion and had to mortgage everything, including the family name. Because we did. We had to mortgage the Blue Oval as part of the collateral. And you know, but one of the things that, that Allan Mullaly and I talked about was the importance of having the family united behind us, so that the management team and the board of directors never felt distracted by, I wonder what the family is really up to. And I was very proud of them. They all hung together unequivocally and said, we believe in you, we believe in the plan, go do it.
So, by stepping down from the position of CEO, and focusing on leading the board of directors as chairman, along with being in direct collaboration with the new CEO, Bill Ford facilitated and triggered the turnaround of the whole company, from the worst year in Ford's history, to position itself as the second largest US-based automaker, and fifth largest in the world. This bold decision would also be reflected subsequently in his merit as an entrepreneur, by exponentially increasing the value of his position as shareholder, maximizing his impact in the world through Ford, and building his legacy in the automotive industry. Leading a business is not an easy task. Holding the final responsibility over an organization and its people can be consuming, and even overwhelming at times. It can lead to losing focus of what the organization stands for, and get entrapped in the operating side of the company, dealing with the day-to-day menial tasks, not realizing that through a systematic approach towards the organization of an enterprise, his impact can be exponentially maximized, and even grant independence and freedom for the founders and shareholders, as a result of strategic planning and execution. Lux Studio provides the path and tools towards the shareholders' success, by providing a framework and implementing a proven methodology that will enable a traditional business owner to evolve into a successful shareholder, through a set sequence of steps and milestones, based on consciousness, clarity, structure, and accountability of the key roles of the organization, which will in turn enable the organization to flourish and prosper, streamlining it towards success and transcendence beyond its founders. Would you like to know more?